Hello and welcome once again to the Scoop Podcast with your host Serp, all Madden Gaming. I'm going to be, of course, bringing to you now again some standings, some statistics. We're going to have a trade that we'll be talking about today, as I mentioned last week's podcast, because we drop every Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern. I was going to be starting a segment again called Trade Talks, where I just take one trade that seems to be a little juicier out of a lot of them that actually go through here, and just kind of go into it, see maybe who benefited the most from it, if it was even, kind of what the player's doing now for the team, etc. I'm going to be also talking about one of the hotter teams in the league, kind of who's hot, so everybody knows kind of what my take is on one of the hottest teams right now. I actually played them not too long ago, and it was disgusting. So they're absolutely stacked. So we'll be talking about that. And then again, if you'd like to follow along, you can catch us at All Madden Gaming CFM. That's the Twitch channel, All Madden Gaming CFM. And then also the Twitter is at All Madden Gaming. And then you could find the Insiders pages from there, and you can get a lot of inside stuff. Hence the word insiders, I guess. Some more trades, ones that might not be as large that I might not mention on the podcast. Some injuries, some free agent signings, and just some takes on some of the games that have been played. Some interesting statistics from those games, or what players they were watching, etc. So a lot of good stuff on the Twitch. Obviously, you want to watch all them games; they're fun as hell. Commentated by Bomber, and then we have the Twitter, where you can get all the information. Some of what I do here, and then also some stuff that I just don't have time to mention here. So, going right into things. Also, we are in week 5. We have one game left. Panthers versus the Falcons. Much anticipated game. I think it's gonna be amazing. It hasn't started yet, so I'll give you my prediction. I predict, and by the time you hear this podcast, this game will have already been played, so we'll see how right I was. I played both the Falcons and I played the Panthers. The Falcons played very well, very good team, really, just synergy. Everything just kind of clicks when you play them. And I also played the Panthers, which, I don't know, it seems like the Falcons play if the Falcons had the Panthers team, they would do even better than the Panthers, but the Panthers team is so good. And they play well, of course, too. I think the Falcons play a little bit better, but the Panthers team is so stacked that they're going to beat the Falcons. And it's going to be, it's probably going to be a one and a half score, maybe 10-point game. So I'm going to say Panthers, let's say 34, Falcons 24. That'll be my take on it. And it's kind of off the hip a little bit, but from playing them both, that's kind of, it doesn't sound too far off. So I'm going to jump right in then to the statistics. Again, you could find these yourself. Actually, let me bring them up. That's a better idea. You can find them yourself if you'd like at daddyleagues.com/AMG. Stands for All Madden Gaming, of course. So, and again, we'll start off on the AFC side. So we have the AFC East. We got the New England Patriots at 4-1. They're running away with it. There's really not much else going on over there. The New York Jets, surprisingly, are 2-3. Now, I thought the New York Jets would take the division, even though the fact that their team is young, really young, not very much talent, except for like Mims is very good, and they've got a few pieces, Mays, etc. on the defense, but. I thought they'd be up there, but anyway, you got New England Patriots 4-1, New York Jets 2-3, and the Dolphins and the Bills 1-4. They're not even not doing much of anything. Bills, I'm surprised. They have a good team. Even the Dolphins has a decent team. So, I guess it just depends on who they've played so far too. There's still a lot of season left. We're barely just into season 6. We got one game left in 5, just moving into season 6. You got 10, 11 weeks left. We got a lot of time. AFC West, another one. AFC, Denver Broncos 4-1. Kansas City Chiefs 2-3. Chargers 2-3, and the Raiders are just sucking wind. They got to get something together. So Broncos and the Patriots are really pulling ahead in the AFC. AFC North, Baltimore Ravens, the only AFC undefeated team yet left is Baltimore Ravens 5-0. Cincinnati Bengals 3-2, Steelers 3-2. They're still hanging around in there, and the Browns are doing Brown stuff. Indianapolis Colts 4-1, Titans 3-2, Jacksonville 2-3, Texans 1-4. Well, the Colts are there, but I mean the Titans are right on their heels, and so that's a little bit more of an open division. AFC South is kind of like, okay, you know, who's doing what here? I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen there. Colts are still really good and the favorite for that division, but you know, AFC North, I would say that's locked up. And the West and the East are, you know, we're probably going to see the Patriots, the Broncos, the Ravens, and the Colts. And then either the Ravens and the Patriots have been playing really good, but I want to say the Colts. I was saying either the Ravens and the Colts. I don't know. Any one of those could take the AFC as far as the conference. I mean, it looks like obviously Ravens because they're just going off. You know, and Lamar Jackson, you know, the run game with him, the ability to just make something out of nothing. I mean, the other teams really don't have as much of that. But, you know, it could be anybody, but I mean, Baltimore Ravens seem to be the favorite for the AFC conference. Moving over to the NFC, we got Dallas Cowboys 2-3, Eagles 2-3, Washington 1-4, Giants 1-4. So the NFC East is sucking wind as a division. Cowboys seem to be the favorite there, but you know, that's anybody's division. That's anybody's. NFC West, that's where I'm at. Rams 4-1, me, the Cardinals 3-2, Seahawks 2-3, Niners 2-3. You know, Rams are doing really. Their defense is smothering. You know, and they're kind of methodical offense that goes along with it is kind of slow and doesn't really make too many mistakes. Me, I'm a little crazy. The Seahawks, Porter, they're kind of crazy. The Niners, I don't think they're there yet. So it's probably going to be either the Rams, or I'd like to think maybe I've got a chance in there, but probably the Rams. NFC North, Green Bay Packers 3-1, Lions 3-1, Vikings 2-3, Bears 1-3. That's going to be Lions. I think the Lions are going to take that. Packers got a chance if they keep on rocking. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is disgusting right now. He's doing very well, so you know, could be anybody, but I expect the Lions to take that. Panthers 4-0, Falcons 4-0, and they play today. That's the game right there. That is the game that is going to say who is going to take the NFC South, and the other one's obviously going to get a freaking. It's going to be the playoffs with wild card anyway, but. Carolina Panthers, Atlanta Falcons 4-0, Buccaneers 3-1, playing well. Buccaneers playing well. I mean, possibly even a wild card there. Could we see all four of the NFC South teams, all four NFC South teams in the playoffs? Possibly. I don't really know about that one, but I mean, there's a small percentage chance we'd throw at that. So that is and who do I expect to take the NFC? Probably the Lions. It'll probably end up being the Lions and the Ravens in the Super Bowl. Early Super Bowl prediction. And then the Ravens will beat the Lions somehow, some crazy. So Ravens, I mean, that's really early stuff. Just kind of spitballing and my take on the way things are going right now. So that is the standings. Let's go ahead and move into the passing and some of the offensive leaders. So Ben Roethlisberger, 1,797 and 16 touchdowns. That's a lot of yards. Baker Mayfield too, right next to him with just 15 yards. I mean, a lot of attempts. I guess not, still in line with a lot of the leaders. Sam Darnold, you want to see him up there. 17 touchdowns, 1,598 yards. Justin Herbert, 1,560 yards, 13 touchdowns. And then Drew Brees, 1,444 yards, 9 touchdowns. That's the passing. Rushing, well, yeah, that's so Roethlisberger, Mayfield, Darnold, Herbert, Drew Brees. Rushing, Jonathan Taylor's still up there. He had that 300-yard game. Is that him? Yeah, he had that 300. Yeah, the Colt that had the 300-yard game plus against the Vikings. So I mean, a lot of that. If you take away that 300-yard game, I mean, Cam Akers Dalvin Cook, Nick Chubb, Phillip Lindsay are all kind of right there. Now, Nick Chubb has, not very many touchdowns. Phillip Lindsay, Dalvin Cook, Cam Akers, as in real life, Cam Akers did well. And Jonathan Taylor, that's your rushers. Receiving, Brashad Perryman was traded to the Saints from the Jets, and he's killing it. 632 yards on 20 receptions, 6 touchdowns. DJ Chark, of course, is up there, 617, 8 touchdowns. Will Fuller, Odell Beckham, DJ Moore. DJ Moore is just. Those are all ones that you'd expect to see there. So offensive leaders, it makes sense. Roethlisberger, Mayfield, Darnold, and the Jets are doing okay with him, and I wouldn't expect to see him up there as one of the leaders. But Herbert, Breeze, okay, and then rushing, Taylor, Akers, Cook, Chubb, Lindsay. Some names on there like Elliott or can't think of the other one. Anyway, there's some other names that you would expect to be up there that I don't see. And even with receiving, some names that I don't, I got Brashad Perryman up there on number 1. Well, the Saints are, good for the Saints on that trade. That'll probably be one that I'm going to actually talk about in the future. Not today, but in the future. Defensive leaders, as far as tackles go, who's all over the field? Noah Dawkins, 22. Logan Wilson, 22 and 2 interceptions. Jordan Brooks, 19 tackles, 1 forced fumble. Patrick Peterson, that's not the best if he's making all them tackles at quarterback. So it's, we want him to be getting interceptions and knocking the ball out of people's hands, not having to tackle him after. But anyway, and 1 interception. Patrick Queen, 17 tackles. He's doing really well. Defense sack leaders, Fletcher Cox with 6 and 2 forced fumbles. Rashawn Gary doing very well, 6 sacks and 3 forced fumbles. 6 sacks and 3 forced fumbles. Von Miller just had a big game. That's why he's up here now. So he's got 5 sacks. Aaron Donald, 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. He's a beast. Chris Jones, 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Interceptions, Denzel Ward, 6 interceptions. Budda Baker, my boy. He just got moved to the slot. Interceptions, 4. Troy Apke, 4 interceptions. Marlon Humphrey, 4 interceptions. Josiah Scott, 4 interceptions. So there's a ton of people with 4 interceptions. If I went all the way into that, I'm sure there'd be, a bunch of them. But those are just the ones that come up on top for the defensive leaders. So that is some of the statistical leaders, as well as the standings at this point on January 17th, going into week 6. So I'd like to switch over then now. Another one that I like to look at really fast, it doesn't take very long, so I add in there, is the actual the injuries, because those could play a big part in a lot of the games. So we're going to look at the injuries, just go through them quickly, see if any of them actually really matter. I'm going to skip through the ones that is a backup to a backup, or a possible practice squad guy. Bengals, well, it's pretty young. I mean, Jerry Tillery, right end power rusher, out for 2. Not too bad, abdominal tear, but a 74 overall, 23-year-old. That can hurt a little bit. So what does he got for power rush? I mean, he's if they're using him, if they're trying to develop him as a young guy. I mean, 87 strength, 76 time, 84, 70. I mean, if you're trying, it still sucks for him to be out. As if he's is he a rookie too? Well, he's a 1-year guy, but so nothing too big for the Bengals. But Cardinals, that's me. Corey Peters, super old, wasn't really doing much anyway, to tell you the truth. He was kind of a backup. Torn labrum, out 5. Actually put him on the injured reserve, and signed a different guy to take his place on the backup roster. So nothing really big there. Colts, Harris Campbell, wide receiver, 23 years old. 1-year guy. Oof, a fast one. He's a fast guy. I could see him actually. Yeah, he was being used. That's for sure. He's really fast guy. Nice athleticism, really agile, good jumping at 6 feet tall. Yeah, that's a hit, and he's out for 5 with a dislocated elbow. So They lose a nice, a deep threat on that team there, the Colts do. Dolphins, Eagles, Falcons, don't even care about him. Giants, nope. That right guard for the Jaguars, that'll hurt. I mean, that'll hurt. Losing any offensive line. I mean, offensive line in this league is, they're still gold. They're still worth a lot. We'll need them. Nothing. Jets don't really count. Oh, Rashawn Gary's out for 7 with an upper arm fracture. That hurts. That absolutely hurts Green Bay. That's their number one guy. I mean, as you knew from me describing some of the defensive leaders, he was the one. I mean, he had sacks and forced fumbles. Hey, look at the speed and the power moves on this guy. And I mean, oh my God. Oh boy, there goes a power rusher. Yep, that hurts Green Bay. That Green Bay's defense really takes a hit there. So that'll change some things. Matt Paradis, he's still out there, center for the Jaguars, broken ribs. It didn't slow them down a bit. So I'm not even going to talk about it because it didn't do anything. Isaiah Wynn, left tackle for the Patriots, and the Patriots are doing really well too. He's coming back though, torn labrum. He's already back. Got one left. The Raiders are just all types of a mess. They're not doing well. They lost a star young rusher, Max Crosby. Lost him. He's gone for 6. Their defensive tackle, another younger guy, broken ribs. Not too much really worried about him, but Max Crosby's one of their, you know what I mean? I'd be trying to develop that guy. Is he a rookie? Is he a 1-year guy? He's a 1-year guy. Yeah, boy. Decent speed, not very strong. Decent agility. Good moves. I mean, still, you don't want to lose him. Ravens. Oh my God. Defensive tackle Brandon Williams out 5 weeks, upper arm fracture. Wide receiver Devin Duvernay 4 weeks, broken thumb. He's definitely a rookie. That's their rookie guy too, and he's out for 4. Calais Campbell, torn labrum, out for 5. That is their big guy, their run stopper, and I'm sure he's more than a run stopper. That's a superstar, and he's got power moves too. I mean, they lost a big defensive line guy there. That's gonna hurt them. I just kind of took a dump out of there for a second. Hold on, we weren't finished. We ended at the Ravens. I just wanted to go. We only had a few more left here. Football team, no. Saints, no. Seahawks, Shaquem Griffin, broken thumb. Yeah. I mean, he's a good rushing linebacker, but he's going to come back soon, and they'll be all right. Devin Bush for the Steelers. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a 1-year guy, super fast. I mean, they're losing a lot of speed and a lot of tackling over the middle there. So that hurts. That's a hurty one for the Steelers. Titans, Jeffrey Simmons. It's another one. It's another big lineman. Nice young guy to develop, and he's out. He's out for 3 with an abdominal tear. So that is the injuries. So right now, I just want to really kind of go into and talk about just a trade. It wasn't too big of one, but it's one of them that I came up with that was somewhat interesting. And I want to see how well he did, or how well he's doing at this point with the new team. And that is defensive end Marcus Davenport. And the Saints sent him to the Ravens for a first this year and a second in next year's draft. So they've got some upcoming picks. A first this upcoming draft and a second in the draft after the next season. So let's go take a look at Marcus Davenport on the... Oh, I want to see my lineup. Scratch that. Let's go to the Saints. Saints, Davenport, defensive end. Where do they have him? Well, they got Cameron Jordan on one side, and then they've got what the heck? Oh, I'm sorry, the Ravens. What am I talking about? The Ravens got him. The Saints gave him. Jesus. Okay, so Calais Campbell. Oh, and he's injured. That's right, and he's injured. So you got Ngakwe on one side, young, very good speed rusher. not very strong, but a good speed rusher. And on the other side, they've got Davenport. Boy, another good one to develop. Because Campbell's done. I mean, he's 34 years old. I mean, he's done for. So it didn't even matter, really, now considering the fact that he's injured, and we talked about, it might make a big difference. But he's not really, it doesn't really matter because I got Davenport on that side. So let me take a look at some. Scarlett here. All right, taking a really quick break. Let me give my daughter a hug. Love you.
Love you.
See you later. Hi. Doing a podcast right now. AMG podcast, The Scoop. I'll talk to you guys later. Love you. All right. So that's how that happens sometimes when you're doing a podcast. That's the way the world works. Quick break. So anyway, back to it. Marcus Davenport. Let's see. So he was there. Well, let's see. He was okay. So for so far for Baltimore, 2 tackles for a loss, 3.5 sacks. Oh my God. Yeah. So let's think of it this way. So there was a poll done from the insiders. The AMG Insiders did a poll when this trade happened and asked the community, the AMG community. I didn't look at all the votes, so I don't know if there were some people outside of the community that voted. Anyway, they said who won the trade. All right. So Ravens get Marcus Davenport, and the Saints get the Ravens first, and the Ravens second the next year. Well, 86%, right? And I'm gonna have to go against this. I'm gonna go against the status quo here, because 86% said the Saints won. The Saints won because of those picks. Well, look at it this way. This is my take on it. All right. So the Ravens are 5-0. They're undefeated right now. They're probably gonna. I mean, they're gonna win the AFC division or the conference. I mean, I mean, I wouldn't put money on it at this point right now, but I would. I mean, we're talking a high percentage. I'm talking in the 80s that they win the AFC conference. Okay, and then they face off against the Lions or most likely the Lions, and have another. I would say 60% that they edge out the Lions. So there's a high percent chance that the Ravens' first round pick is a early second. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody good that would be comparable to Marcus Davenport is going to be gone. I mean, you're not gonna. There's going to be nobody in the number pick 32 or 31. Let's say they don't even make the Super Bowl. Let's say they get picked 32, 31, 30, 29, even 28, 27. I'll go as far as say 27. That pick is meh. And look at this guy. And look at Davenport. You know what I mean? 3.5 sacks and 9 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss. And I mean, we're only in they've only had the guy. I mean, we're only in week 5. I mean, the guy's getting. I mean, this is crazy. And let's take. How old is he? He's 23. He's going to be a fast developer. He's going to be a star. He's going to be a superstar sometime shortly. He's already. Look at his speed, his acceleration, his strength isn't bad for a. I mean, he's got all the. This guy is definitely worth a 26, 20. This guy's worth. I mean, even though he's already 2 years into the game, he's only 23. He's only 23. This is first pick. I would take this guy at number for sure. I would take this guy with one of the top, 10, 15 picks. And so not only do the Saints get a crappy pick, they give up somebody who's worth more, 20 spots more than what their first round pick is going to be worth from the Ravens. And the second year pick next year, the Ravens aren't going to do any worse. So next year, their second round pick is an early third. That's garbage. I'll tell you, in this league, and from my experience, unless you draft really, really well, you get really lucky, okay, it might be worth something. Anything after a second round is just, you're hoping. You're reaching for maybe you got a backup guy to develop or something like that. So absolutely, I think the Ravens won this one. Their defense is, I mean, their rushers they're set. They're set for the entire cycle of AMG, for this entire cycle of Madden 21. They're set. I mean, they've got their rushers. They've got Davenport and they've got Ngakwe. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. He's going to last 5 years. Davenport's going to last 6 until we're done. So I don't know. I'm going to say the Ravens won that one. That is my trade talk session. Went a little bit longer than I wanted it to. I mean, we're at 25 minutes now, but I mean, I was into that one. So now I would just want to talk about kind of who's hot and kind of take a look at the squad, because the Panthers are ridiculous. All right. The Panthers have been playing absolutely ridiculous. And it's just, I mean, they're so stacked. I mean, they're so stacked as far as receivers, and just their play style and their scheme and everything just seems to work for them really well. So, I mean, you got Teddy, you got good old Teddy, even though he's noodle arm. I mean, Teddy's a noodler. He doesn't really have much going on. I mean, if the Panthers trade for, and or draft, well, I mean, they have some decent, no, they don't, never mind. They don't have any. Will Greer can eat it. Walker can suck on it. Bridgewater, I mean, I don't even think they have to get rid of him. I mean, if they're doing this well, but think about if they somehow trade up or get some kind of, somehow a quarterback or something like that, or they can trade for one, or they get a even better quarterback. Oh my God, it's gonna be insane. McCaffrey's, he's gonna be a 90. He's gonna be a 99 forever for the whole rest. They have no need. They've got an excellent runner, an excellent receiver in him. I mean, he is everything. He's nasty. Fullback we don't care about. Wide receivers, look at this. Look at the speed and the agility. I mean, minus Roby Anderson. I mean, he's getting a little bit older. They're probably going to have to look to kind of get rid of him. I don't know if they're going to be re-signing him or not, if they have already. I didn't look into that. But, I mean, he's going to be to the point where it's like, okay, he's going to start losing a step in a year or 2 or 3. But I think we only got 4 or 5. I mean, how many games are even left, or how many seasons are even left in this cycle? I don't know, but it's probably going to be the point where they're going to want to get rid of him, at least for the last one season or the last season or maybe the last 2. But Moore and Samuel, dude, this is disgusting. It's gross. It makes me want to throw up my brunch looking at them, and playing against them is even worse. I mean, I was pretty close to smashing all of this stuff that I have in front of me here. Ian Thomas, he's developable. Do they really use him that much? No. I mean, their receivers are good enough. They use this guy to block, or maybe if you got to dump something out to him. But you got McCaffrey and those receivers, you're done. Get a good quarterback, a better quarterback, and it's over. Think if the Panthers had Lamar Jackson or something like that. God. Their line, they could use a little, and he's out. But their line really doesn't matter. I mean, their receivers are just, bam, bam, bam. They're just open, bam, bam. McCaffrey on a Texas route, bam. McCaffrey in the flats, bam. You know what I'm saying? There's no need. The line is irrelevant for them. Their offensive line is irrelevant. If they want to shoot some money into it, that's cool. And remember, these are just my takes, and the players all play, everybody has their own play style and what works for them. But just from my experience from playing them, I mean, they don't even need, you're not getting any pressure on them. The ball's thrown immediately after. I mean, somebody's Moore or Samuel are open immediately. There's no, I mean, they're open immediately. They're so fast, so agile. They're changing. Look at the change of direction. It's just disgusting. Look at the release for Moore. I mean, he's just everywhere. So the offensive line, could use a little bit of work, but meh. That's really a moot point to me. Brian Burns on the outside. Disgusting. Look at him, disgusting. He's only 22. This guy's insane. Who do they got on the right side? Gross Matos. I mean, he's developed. Look at that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this guy. There's nothing wrong with this. What's his blocks? What is he? Yeah. I mean, it's definitely developable. He's 22. He's gonna be great in a year or 2. He's gonna be great. They got a defensive tackle just sitting there waiting. Amazing. They got Shaq Thompson. Middle linebackers, a little meh. Another outside linebacker, they really kind of could get there. So a quarterback and an outside linebacker. I mean, cornerback, look at this guy. Dante Jackson, 24 years old, killing it. Douglas, a little slow. I mean, you might want to get rid of this guy. I mean, he's developed. He's older. He's not really going to do any good. Eli Apple, he does well for a couple years, I know that, and then he kind of, so they need a little bit of help there as far as cornerbacks. Look at Jeremy Chin. He's going to be a top player. He's going to be top, and they need another safety in the strong part. So quarterback, maybe a safety, maybe an outside linebacker. They really don't need that one as much, middle linebacker, but their team is just disgusting. And going back to them in the Daddy Leagues page, where are they at now again? They are 4-0. 4-0. So they're one of the two only undefeated teams, of course, because they play the Falcons. So one of them's going to be defeated, which I expect the Carolina Panthers are going to be 5-0. So I guess that's kind of it. I guess that's kind of where we leave it off at. There's not really much left to talk about. So thanks for joining me. It's about 30 minutes. That's kind of where I want to keep them. I mean, nobody wants to listen to me for much longer than that. Week 6, we should be in it already, I'd imagine. If not, hopefully I get to watch this game. I want to watch the game, the Panthers versus the Falcons. So I guess this has been Serp for All Madden Gaming, the Scoop podcast. Thanks for listening and or watching, and we'll talk to you next Monday.